Okay, see here, see, we discussed about on Monday, we discussed about theoretically typical part I have explained. What is application? Types of applications: framework application, implementation application. Framework application is used. Framework application is used to create common functionalities. To create common functionalities, common functional components across entire business can be created inside framework. Framework means which can be supplying some components to others. And implementation application contains specific functional components of that particular implementation. Okay. And what is the reason you come up with creating application architecture to have framework and implementation? What are the advantages? The advantages are easy to extend your application and is reusability and cost effectiveness, less cost. Okay, as you go and expand your business, you don't have to again spend money for the same thing that you have already done in the past. Today you have done a task, that task need not to be done once again. The result of today's task, you are going to reuse it tomorrow or afterwards. Okay, that's called reusability. Okay, and when you create a new application, you need to make sure to keep in mind to provide at least these 4 parameters. Name of the application, choose the type of the application, what's the name of the organization, what's the operator ID, login ID that you wanted to create. That's what done on Monday in short. Just overall, the class is 10 minutes. Okay, out of 1 hour, 10 minutes is a summary. Okay, remaining all 15 minutes explanation with examples, real life examples and all. Okay, and next, yesterday what did we do? Yesterday we have practically implemented what we had discussed on Monday. Monday discussion has been practically implemented on Tuesday, that is yesterday. So yesterday was a practical where we have learned some navigations about how to create a framework application, and once you are done with that, how to create an implementation application on top of the existing framework application, Similarly, you can create n number of implementation applications. So we are done with setting up that roof. We are done with setup of roof. So we need to construct walls and remaining whatever that is needed inside. Okay, so just a roof part is been done. So remaining things we need to take care. Okay, we are in process of learning those things. And after this application created, we have created login IDs for those. Password got generated. At the time of login, PEGA is prompting you to update the password. PEGA is prompting you to update the defaultly generated password. We have updated that. Okay, what if you forget the password? Can you change the password? When you forget it, you can change it. How to change the password? Interview question. How can I change the password of an operator ID? I forgot the password of my operator ID. How can I change it? An interview question. What do you answer? Log into PEGA using default credentials, administrator@pega.com, and the password for that is install. You logged in. Next, go to records, go to organization category and expand it. Click on operator ID. You find the operator ID, click on operator ID, it will open the operator ID. Then go to security tab. Then click on update password, enter the new password, submit, and click on save, log off and try login with a new password. See, what do you need to remember now to answer this question in the interview? What do you need to remember? So this is an interview question, you answered this, right? What you have remembered now? To answer this question, what you have remembered? You have remembered type. What you have remembered? Online students.
Navigation.
Navigations. You have remembered navigations. That's what. This is one part of learning in PEGA. One part of learning in PEGA is remember those navigations. How do you remember those navigations? This can be an interview question, right? They may ask you an interview. Possibility is there. Basic beginner level question, suppose. Just like that, they want to ask one silly question, they asked this, suppose. They're not able to remember navigations means you have never accessed that, right? So how do you remember the navigations? Practice. Visit the same thing again and again. Suppose you want to travel from this place to somewhere, okay? Some new location you are going to, okay? When you go by bike, car, whatever it is, somehow when you wanted to go to a new location, what you do is, for the first time when you are going, okay, when you are traveling through that path, you ask many people, so what direction I should take, right or left, and you try to just remember some locations or some buildings or whatever some identification marks you are going to keep in your mind. Okay, first time when you're going to the location, it will be difficult. Actually, the travel time is 30 minutes only, but it will take around 45 to 50 minutes, maybe 1 hour also it will take. Second time when you want to go to the same location, you will not be able to travel so freely. Okay, still you struggle little bit, okay, but not as you have struggled for the first time. Okay, here and there you get somewhere little bit of confusion. Should I go this way, I don't remember. Okay, get a confirmation from somehow you get, and this time you have reached it in 45 minutes, previously it was 1 hour. Third time, maybe 35 minutes, within 35 minutes you'll reach, you remember almost everything. Fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. You don't have to ask anyone, you just go by yourself. You don't need that Google whatever maps. You don't have to ask anyone, just directly go. So because your mind starts remembering as you visit again. Okay, you do the practice, do the navigations again, automatically it remembers. You don't have to think too hard to inject that into your mind. You don't have to write it down or read it, click on this, click on that, click on. You don't have to do that. Do it again, you do it. What happens is automatically your brain is going to store that picture. It will store for sure. So now next question, how to create a new application in PEGA PRPC? What is your answer? I want to create a new application in PEGA PRPC. How do you create? Log into PEGA using default credentials. First step. Second step. Yeah, online students also can respond by chatting window, or maybe 1 or 2 persons can unmute. Click on what? PEGA platform application menu. Choose new application. After that, what you'll get? You'll get one screen. Select build from scratch framework, suppose you're creating, or any other framework. Okay, build from scratch. Next, give the name of the application, advanced configuration. Choose the type of application to be framework. Change the name of the organization if you're not comfortable with the default generated name. Remaining things we did not discuss as of now. Just make an observation about application ID. That's an optional thing. Okay, all this you back to save. Click on save. You will be back to the screen where you have entered application name. Then proceed to click on create. Once you click on create, it creates application without a login ID. Now I want to add login ID. How can I add login ID? Whatever it is, you add some ID in email ID format, click on add. Then login ID will be created with author's role. Default is author. A book author means that is the person who has written that book, right? Okay, he can write anything, he can change it or do anything, right? Author means developer. It will generate the password. Okay, operator ID and password will be generated. Log off, login back using the generated operator ID and password. It will prompt for changing the password and give the new password. You will be in. After you are in, by default it will load App Studio. So you switch back to admin studio, Dev Studio from App Studio. And once you go to Dev Studio, click on App Explorer just to see how many applications it has loaded. You have access to, so 2 or 3, it depends. You are logging where. Again, this is also navigation. See, PEGA, some interview questions in PEGA, maybe basic question or high level question, whatever it is. Not only some, so many interview questions, 70% of the interview questions or any interview question that you're trying to answer, 50 to 70% of the answer will be navigations. Remaining will be your thinking. Okay, so everyone, why I am saying this is, every one of you have to fully focus on remembering these navigations. But now, how do you remember the navigations? You do it again. Access it again. When you are answering this, that real PEGA screens should be scrolling in your mind. Without that picture is there in your mind, will you be able to answer the navigations? No, don't write the navigations. Don't read the navigations. Do follow the navigations. Navigate through all that navigation options. Automatically your brain remembers when you do it multiple times. So practice is a key to success here. Not only here, anywhere it is. Okay, so that's what I request all of you to do. This is just as an example to make you realize, to understand how the questions will be in interviews. What do you need to prepare on? Make sense? Clear, everyone? Okay. So let's get into our topic now, today's topic. Today we are going to look at understanding about PEGA rules, process commanders, user interface. What is that? User interface. See, as a developer in PEGA, what is your role? You are going to work on implementing user interface. You are going to work on implementing business logic and implementing database communications, plus reporting, plus unit test cases. I'll be teaching all these things. No worries about it. Unit test cases, everything I'll teach you. And even you want bigs also, I can teach you that. No worries. Okay. Plus integrations. All these things. But at a high level, you don't have to think about all these things as of now. At a high level, user interface, business logic, database. These are the three main layers. That's what, you don't have to bother about remaining things. I'll be teaching you practically, don't have to worry about it. Okay, so whatever you cannot learn in real time, I'll be teaching here. No worries. UI, business logic, and database. Okay, see, our first focus is going to land onto user interface. We're going to land onto user interface. Okay, I'm going to give you one requirement. You tell me what are the required components to implement it. Okay, so the requirement is that I want you to just construct a house. You have to construct the house. Leave about the plan. Okay, plan should be there in your mind for sure. Before you start constructing the house, complete plan you should know. Okay, now apart from plan, tell me the physical components. What do you need? What is the physical material that you need if you want to construct a house?
Brick.
You need cement, bricks, sand, iron, and some concrete stones.
Water.
All those mix up everything based on some calculations and all, and you will be able to somehow construct it, right? Thing is, should you know about all these things before you start doing? Should you know what material is required to construct, or without knowing you will be able to do? No, right? You must have to know about all the raw material that is required to implement something. Okay, you want to construct a house. What are the raw material you need? The raw material you should know. Raw material, everything is separately available. So when you have the entire raw material separately available, you learn each one. What is the purpose of cement? You'll be learning. What's the purpose of sand? You'll be learning. What is the purpose of water in this aspect? You will be learning. What's the purpose of iron? How it is going to help you? You'll be learning about the iron. Okay. But ultimately, what you need to do, each individual component you will be learning. But is that enough? No. What else you need to learn? How to combine these things, right? How to combine. That's where the learning lies. So learning everything independently is okay. You're going to gain a little bit of knowledge. But when you, as long as it is just staying independently, there is no use of it. When you combine it with other things, okay, then only it is going to produce a proper result that you're expecting, a useful result you're going to get out of it. Yes or no? Okay. So each alphabet is separately available. What is the use? No use. Combine the alphabets to make words. It makes some sense. Combine the words into sentences. It makes even much better sense, and it helps for the communication purpose. So when learning, what you need to remember is learn each individual component, understand its purpose, and know how to mix up with other components, connect with other components. That's very, very important. If you get a requirement in real time, the first thing that your mind should think about is, okay, when I ask you a requirement, I want to construct a house, then how you can do it? What is the first thing you get? Okay, I need to collect the raw material first. Apart from plant, raw material. What material? Independently, you'll identify each material. Then second thought is how to mix up all these things. In what way I have to mix up? This is the second step. And third step is when you are mixing up and you are going to use this to construct to get the output result. Correct? Same way when you are learning PEGA. When you hear a requirement, okay, this is the requirement. First, understand the requirement. Okay. Once you understand the requirement, try to write down to implement this requirement. What is the raw material required? Raw material means what rules in PEGA I need. Maybe you need 5 different rules. Rule 1, its name. Rule 2, rule 3. Independently, you identify all rules. In which way I should connect? Rule 1 with rule 3, 3 with 2, 2 with 5, 5 with 4. Means you identified in one order, but connection in a different order. No worries about it. So you have to connect all these rules together. Okay, connect. When you connect all this, finally, when you execute it, you are going to get the expected output result. So this is how your mind should start thinking about. It's not that simply you learn only independent rule. So this rule can be mixed up with which other rule, in which scenario, what scenario demands what rules, and how these rules to be connected with each other. That's what you need to know about. Clear, everyone? Okay. So for each and every rule, there is a purpose or not? For each and every material, there is a purpose. It serves its purpose, and its purpose is going to give a fruitful result when you mix up with the other thing. Without that, it is not going to help you anything. Okay. So here you go now. See, we are going to start looking at learning, creating user interface. If you want to design user interface in PEGA, generally, when you create an application, you're trying to create an application for the purpose of like user registration. What is that? User registration. You see, if you want users to register on your website, you need to display a screen that gets loaded into browser. Okay, this is called web page. Generally, what do you call web page? Every screen that is getting loaded into browser, Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, any browser, is called as web page. See, web page comprises of controls. What is that called as? Control. If you see a web page, I go here, google.com, Facebook sign up. For example, Facebook sign up page. So I want to sign up on the Facebook. Okay, I'll go to sign up form. This is sign up form. This is the entire web page from this corner to everywhere. Okay, left corner of the page to right bottom corner, left top to right bottom corner, entirely web page. In this page, it has controls. What does it have? Controls. Look at here. This is one first name you see. This box, you know, this is called text input. What do you call this? You can enter some values by typing the keys on your keyboard. And this is also text input. And this is called as label. This is called as label. So label will just display. It doesn't take or accept any input from you. Text input will accept input from you. And this is called drop down. Drop down is going to give you predefined values, allows you to select one of those values, allows you to select or choose one of those existing values. See, country name, instead of asking you, I can display list of countries, you can choose it. It is going to make something easier way. It's an easier way for users to select something from here. So instead of asking you which month you are born, I'm going to display all the months. You choose one of the months. That's pretty much fair enough. Suppose some people will write JUN. If I give them access to type, Some people have typed only JUN. Some people have typed June. Processing will be difficult. I do not know how much value you'll give. But a standard value, if I'm going to give you to choose, my logic can be implemented easy. Okay. And gender, you are seeing out of 3 buttons are there here. These are called radio buttons. These are called radio buttons. When you have collection of radio buttons, remember, only one radio button can be selected out of n number. Collection, 100 are there. Only one can be chosen. Not more than one radio button cannot be chosen in a collection. Group of radio buttons, only one can be chosen at a time. And this sign up is there, no? This is called button. This is called as button. Button allows you to perform an action on the page. You can perform an action. That action is called submit. What is it called as? Submit action. Click on it, page will be submitted to the server. I don't want to get it technical much. Already have an account. This is called hyperlink. This is called hyperlink. They did not mention any underscore here. If underscore is there, you can much easily understand. On click, this is also going to perform an action. Take you to another page. Take you to another page. This is also hyperlink. You are getting underscore here clearly in this page. Hyperlink. There are different controls. Depends on your requirement, you will be using the controls. Okay. So in the business requirement, they will tell you what control to be, how it should appear. They tell you, you can identify the respective control. So your aim is to create a web page. Create a web page. That web page, you wanted to get this web page displayed at runtime during transaction model, during transaction processing. Sorry, during transaction. You initiate the transaction. You want the screen to be loaded in the website, in the browser, simply say. See, there are 2 environments. Let me tell you. So design phase, 2 phases. Design phase, runtime. Runtime phase. Okay. So what is design phase? Design phase means editable. Design phase means editable. Runtime means at the time of execution. It's not editable. It's a final display. Final. When you talk about the UI, the runtime means it's not editable. Simply speaking, not editable. You can access it. You can access the page. Let's say access the page. Okay. So design time means you are going to see it's being editable to you. Okay. Runtime means it is going to be non-editable. It's not editable at all. Suppose any application that you're accessing in your phone, that's runtime environment or design time. That's runtime only. That's runtime only. This Facebook login screen and all. But Facebook application developers will be there, right? They can see the design time also because they have access to open that page and access it to modify the things and all. Okay. So design time, runtime. So user interface, if you want to design, the UI is going to have controls. UI is going to have controls. Okay, I'm going to enter a value into control. What happens typically, how the processing is going to happen in web page? See, when you sign up on Facebook page, you enter the data here, right? You will be entering some details here. Okay, you'll be entering some details here. When you enter all the details here and click on sign up, what happens, you know, all this data will be taken from this web page and it gets stored into a permanent storage place. That permanent storage place is called as database. What is it called as? Database. Understand clear, everyone? So generally, I'll go here. Just give me a minute time. Here you go now. Okay. Look at here now. So look at here. So not this diagram. This diagram is somewhat clear. You can see here. The first layer is user interface layer. Second one is coding, business logic layer. So, and the third one is database. User interface is also called as front end. Front end means the one which is displayed in the browser. Business logic we cannot see, and database we cannot see as end user. As a user, we can only see user interface. Anything you add here, the data, and click on something, some action you perform, sign up like that. The data you entered, where did you enter the data? Who is holding data on the web browser? Controls are holding the data. Yes or no? This control is holding the data. Yes or no? For you, when you look at with your eyes, what you realize is in this web page, control is holding the data. If I want to hold the data on this white space, I cannot type anything. I have to go into a control. Inside the control only, I should be able to type. Okay. And this control holds the data. And the data that is there with the control in the web page will be taken into, will be grasped into business logic. Business logic grasps the data, takes the data. Now, where is the data? Data movement from one place to another place. From user interface, data has moved to next layer. What is the next layer? Business logic layer. Okay. See, I have a fruit in my hand. Mango is there. I want to give it to someone. I have given it to someone. Okay. If I want to give it to someone should be there, no? If I want to transfer it from me to someone else, that someone other person should be there. He should hold it in his hand. Yes or no? So here in the user interface, controls are holding the data. That's what we are realizing. This controls data, what is there present in this control is being taken into business logic. So UI is giving data to business logic in other way around. Okay. There should be someone to collect that data, right? There should be something to collect the data, yes or no? So if I am going to give, there should be someone to take, then only I can give, otherwise I cannot give. No. So you have some holder here. What is a holder? That is control. Control is holding the data. UI level holder is there to hold the data. Control. Business logic also same, data holder should be there or not. Something should hold the data at the business logic, yes or no? Okay, I will tell you about that. Okay, the data that is there in UI is being moved to business logic. Something is holding there. Okay. From business logic, data will now get moved to database. Where it will get moved to? Database. In the database, there should be someone again to hold the data, yes or no? In the database, data will be held by something called as table. What is that? Table. Table holds the data. Table is the storage place. In the user interface browser level, each field, each value is being held by one control. It moved to business logic. I'll talk about business logic. From business logic, the data has been moved to permanent storage place now. That is called database. In the database, who is going to hold all this data? Table. Table holds the data in the form of columns and rows. Columns and rows. You know Excel, right? In Excel, if I ask you to type the student ID, student name, what would you do? Top heading, you will keep student ID, student name, and below that you will write the date. Multiple students' IDs and names. Yes or no? So rows are data. Rows are data. In Excel, we call the top one as header. What do you call? Header. Here you call that as columns. Rows are data. These are columns are attributes. Columns are attribute. Attribute holds the data. Attribute holds the, in database also column is, attribute is a column. Okay. So data is going to get stored permanently into database, where again inside database tables will be there. Inside database tables. Table is the permanent storage place of data. Tables will be there in a roof. Multiple tables together will be there in a roof or box called as database. Database. So data will move from user interface to business logic, from business logic to database, and database to business logic to database. Database, in the database tables, permanent storage. Next time when you log in, what happens? You know, when you log in, the system will verify the database has one row for this customer ID or not. It is there, you are allowed. It is not there, you are not. Generally, that's a different case. See, this is the point. So this is the ultimate goal of every application. Every application in this world, it is going to collect the data, it will process the data, and it is going to store the data. It collects the data, it will process the data, and it is going to store the data. Okay. So storage is sometime later, if I want, I can utilize it. Okay. So in the user interface level, you have something called as control, which is holding the data. In the database level, you have something called as table, which is holding the data. Then who is going to hold the data at business logic? Okay. At the business logic level, look at here, UI, controls holds data, holds data. That's what we can see with our eyes. Okay. And business logic and database. In database, tables holds data. Now, what about business logic? In the business logic, attributes are variables. Attributes is more generic terminology, and variable is specific to technologies. Java, C language, Python, any language, you call that as variable. Suppose you come to HTML, you call that as tag. Tag may hold a value. XML, HTML, scripting languages are there, no? There you call those as tags. And okay, anyhow, your web form is also a HTML only. Variables holds the data. Variables holds the data. Everyone clear so far? These are very basics. I know many of you might already have idea and knowledge about all of this. Maybe I'm not pretty much sure about everybody, but most of the people at the college level, you might have learned all these things, or you may have some idea about all these things, but still you try to follow us in this class. Okay, so here you go now. Okay, how the data will move and all, it's a different case. Now look at here, look at the diagram. See, in user interface, how many controls are there? How many values are there? Value 1, value 2, value 3, 4, I'm sorry, 4, and these 3 together, 1 value. Yes or no? Date of birth, all 3 together, 1 value. 4 values, 5 values are there. 5 values should be are getting transferred to business logic. To hold 5 values, I have 5 controls. I have how many controls? 5 controls. Same way. To hold 5 values in business logic, I need how many variables? 5 variables. Simple thing. 5 variables I need. To hold this 5 variables data in the table, I need how many columns? 5 columns I need. That's a basic thing. Just one to one. Okay. One control holds 1 value. That value, 1 value to hold in the business logic, one variable required. To hold in the table, 1 column required. How many columns? 1 column. 10 controls have 10 values. I need 10 variables. I need 10 columns in the table. Simple thing. Okay, clear everyone? So 1 control equal to 1 variable is equal to 1 column. Okay, now, okay. Now I have 5 controls. Behind the scene, in the business logic, I have 5 variables. How many variables? 5 variables in the business logic. 5 controls in the front end, back end, 5 variables. So which control value to be given to which variable? First control value out of these 5 variables, to which variable I should give? That's the question, right? Okay, control 1, variable 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, which one should take? Control 2 value, which variable should take? This you should design. Okay, look at here now. Each control that you have added in the UI, each control you have added in the UI, you will map it to one variable in the business logic. Means control and variable are connected. Control and variable are connected. So this control, first control is mapped to second variable. When I enter a value in first control, which variable will get that value? Second variable will get. Second control is mapped to first variable. When I enter a value in the second control, that may go to second variable. So every control will get mapped to a variable. That is input control. Button doesn't need any variable. Button, you are not entering any data now. Text input, drop down, checkbox, radio button. These things, these are called input controls. You will give value, choose a value or enter a value. Button, are you going to enter any value? Hyperlink, are you going to enter any value? No. So those are action controls. These are input controls. These are input controls. Understand clear, everyone? So every control that is taking the data, input control, every input control gets uniquely mapped to one variable. That's how any full stack technologies works like this. Okay, a mapping should be there to whom to give. Okay, that should be decided at the time of design itself. Okay, so there are 5 persons standing on the right hand side, 5 persons standing on the left hand side. I'm asking the books, what are there with first 5 persons? Each person has one book in hand. Give it to the other side 5 persons. Now you will ask a question, whom should I give out of that 5? Each person is going to come and ask me, I have book, there are 5 people, whom should I exactly give? 2 persons cannot go and give it to 1 person. I want equally being distributed, right? So now I'll tell you, okay, roll number 1, roll number 10, roll number 2, roll number 9, roll number 3, roll number 8, roll number 4, roll number 6, roll number 7, roll number 5, roll number 6. This is mapping I have done. First only I told you go and give that person, you go and give that person. So when I say, okay, go and give, just you have handed over accordingly. Design time itself, it should be decided. Before you start the gameplay, everything should be decided, right? So like this, control should be mapped to individual properties. Control should be mapped to individual, variables. Okay. So each control should be mapped to. This is how you are going to create a web page screen where you add controls and map the control to variable. That means first, are you going to create this UI web page or you are going to create these variables? Which one? Which one you should be ready with? UI variables. Be ready with variables. Then come to UI and design. Map at the time of designing itself. You want to map to variable. When you add a control, you want to map to variable. Variable is not there. How do you map? So be ready with variables first. Then UI you create, map it, done. Execute it at runtime. It is going to take the value and implement something to store into database. In PEGA, we don't have to do that. Automatically it will store. Okay. So are you clear with the basic introduction about this? Just an idea about how web pages are going to work.
Yes.
Okay, clear, right? The same thing we are going to do practically. But before we do practically, what do you call all this? How do you create all this in PEGA? If you want to create these things in PEGA, then where do you go? That's another important thing. All these things have to be created. This is our goal. I am just giving an introduction of goal. What are we going to do in next 3 days? Okay, because I do not want you to blindly drive. Okay, this is what we are going to do in future, not immediately now today. Okay, this is our goal, first goal. Okay, first task is this one only. These are all individual components. These components should be placed somewhere inside application. These are all individual components. You create variable is one raw material, control is one raw material. Okay, you are mixing up the variables with controls. Database is another raw material. You're connecting it to store the database data into tables. Okay. Now, where do you create all these things in PEGA? See, remember, application is a roof. It's a constant box or roof. Okay. It is non-executable. It's like a roof. That's it. If you want to execute, executable behavior, execution behavior means running behavior will be there for something else called as class. Again, this is a roof plus it is executable component. Class is another component which is executable. Okay, it's a keyword. Okay, class is a roof again, or it's a box, you can say. It's a box which contains functional components. Just for your better understanding, I'm just trying to tell you in a simple words. Okay, I told you already, application is container of functional components. No, now again I'm saying class is container of functional components. Okay, which one is true? Both are true. I'll tell you. See, it's not a single box where you're going to put your functional components. 2 boxes will be there. Okay, first one is application. Outer box will be there. Application. Inside the outer box, there will be another box inside that is called class. Inside class, you are going to place all the rules. I mean, like functional component. If you address a functional component, that will be connected to an application and a class. Application and a class. Every functional components will be there inside some class. That class will again be there inside an application. Inside an application. Understand clear, everyone? Suppose if you want to store gold, okay. So if you want to store in a locker box is there. Directly inside box, you will not throw everything. Gold, everything you will organize to put it in some special box that they are going to provide. Love that. And again, take this box and place inside the locker. Yes or no? Again, locker is a container box. So one container, inside that another container, actual content is there in the second box internally. So whenever you create any functional component in PEGA, that must go inside a class. Where does this class exist? Inside application. Inside application. So your application contains class, class contains the functional components. Ultimately, your functional component is there inside application only. Okay. So that's what I told on the day one. I did not mention about the class. Okay. So application doesn't directly contain functional components. Application contains classes. Classes contains functional components. Okay, clear everyone? Okay. So if I give you a gold ring, keep it in a locker, you will not throw it in the locker. That ring you will take a small box, put in the small box, and this box again you take and push it into locker, right? Same thing. Okay. So here you go now. See, when you create a new application, when we create a new application, okay, see, this is what you need to understand, fundamental units of the subject. See, whoever is strong enough in the fundamentals, they can do anything with the subject. Okay, see, normal college students, IITians, what is the difference? IIT graduates and a normal college university graduate, what is the difference?
They're strong with fundamentals.
They're strong with fundamentals. They create something new. They come up with some innovations based on understanding the fundamentals of it. They learn to understand the fundamentals and its purpose clearly, and they will become innovative. Okay, we generally don't bother about fundamentals. We don't even bother about the unit lesson. We only bother about question answer, question answer, question answer. That's the problem. Okay, always learn the underlying fundamental components. Basement is important or 10th stair is important? Which one you think more while constructing? 10th stair is going to collapse, no problem, I'll construct again. Basement collapses, all 10 stairs will collapse, right? So basement is important. Okay, so let's log into our application. Tell me our implementation application dev.ampl@anz.com. Password rules. I logged in here. You know, you'll be redirected to App Studio. From there you are going to switch to Dev Studio. Okay, I'll do all that. Dev Studio switching and all.
Harsha, can I interrupt you? A small doubt.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Harsha. So actually, today is my first class.
Okay.
I'm an employee at PEGA itself. So, will I be able to understand if I continue from here?
You're already working on PEGA?
No. Actually, I'm a new to PEGA, and I work in the PEGA company itself. So,
oh, okay. You're working for PEGA Systems itself. Okay, you'll be able to understand. So far, you understand?
Yeah. So far, I understood. But when
So far,
you
you
told
understand,
that,
right? You'll be able to
did
understand
you?
even if you're new student today onwards. You'll be able to understand. Only thing is, you missed 2 sessions, one theory, one practical. Just we have recorded session for that. Go through it. Just we created application. Nothing much we have done.
Okay. And also, did you tell anything about classes prior to this class?
What's that? Prior to this class?
Did you say anything about classes? Just now you mentioned about classes, right?
No. This is the first time you are hearing class from my mouth, right? I did not tell anything about classes. We are in progress to learn new things now. Okay. You created application. You logged in. You came inside your application. Okay. You opened that locker. You wanted to find out that component, right? Red ring. Once you open locker, what do you see? That small box first you see. Inside that small box only you'll find the ring. Once you get into application, what is being loaded when you go to App Explorer? You see here automatically classes got loaded. Actually, you need to create class. But PEGA automatically creates classes for you. Later, we will also learn how to create by ourselves. Using Wizard, we will create manually. We'll learn PEGA two different ways. One is manual creation. Second one is Wizard creation. Both ways we will be learning. Application creation we have done by Wizard. Manual is not there. Okay, manual will be too difficult. Okay, so many things when we are learning. First manual, next Wizard. Many times we follow like that. Okay, you have to learn both the ways. Let me tell you, doing from the scratch, anything you're creating from scratch, Wizard will help you. 90% of the cases it is good. Suppose you are working on enhancement, you're not doing it from the scratch. Already something is created, half you need to enhance. Now you need to manually enhance. You cannot rerun the Wizard to make the second half in many different situations. So learning both ways is important. Learning Wizard is going to give you a knowledge to build anything from the scratch. Learning manual approach is going to help you to work on enhancement requirements, change requests, troubleshooting. I mean, like reverse engineering. Everything you will be learning only when you go through manual approach. Okay, both ways will be learning. You are here at the classes. Automatically, the new application Wizard has created 3 classes. Inside these classes only, I am going to create my functional components which are needed for designing a web page and executing a web page. Inside this classes only. But how many classes have been created? I will show you. I don't go by number exactly. So many classes have been created. But I don't want to focus on all of these classes on day one itself. When I make it blank and tab out, automatically it is loading. Automatically it is loading something there. When I log in, what is being automatically loaded? That's what I'm going to primarily focus on. This is being automatically loaded. This is a class. This is a class. Class name ANZ dash. That hyphen you read in PEGA as dash. ANZ dash ANZ auto I dash work. This is combination of 3 classes. This is combination of how many classes? 3 classes. Can you name the first class out of these 3? ANZ. When we create a new application, I'll write class, right? I'll tell you the technical definition of class. Okay, when we create a new application, PEGA has created so many classes. Is that predefined or user defined? No, user defined. Predefined means before you take any action, already it is there. These classes are being created as a result of you have taken an action of creating application. You created application, these are auto created. Okay, predefined means you did not do anything. You installed PEGA, already that is there. That's called predefined, OOTB. Okay, OOTB stands for out of the box, meaning that predefined. Okay, so okay, when we create new application, PEGA has created so many classes, out of which we focus on below 3 classes. Below 3 classes of IMPL app, right? And I first go always with IMPL app. First class name is organization class. I'm calling it as organization class. Can anyone tell me the reason why I am calling it as organization class? What's the reason I am calling it as organization class? Because this class name is same as my organization name. What is the name for organization I have given? ANZ. Same name, you got one class. Next, second class is ANZ auto I. This is, look at here. This is application now. I can go to its definition to see its details. I told you, right? If you want to find the details of any component in PEGA, go to its definition. Define yourself. Then you will tell your details to me, right? Same way, definition of application is going to reveal its ID. ANZ auto I. ANZ auto I. That means it is application class. In other terminology, you can call it as division class. I'll tell you about the organization structure in future. Next, third one, work. What is work stands for? Work stands for
Functionality.
business transaction. Business transaction or not? Okay. This is implementation work class. Implementation work class where business transactions can be initiated, processed, and closed. You can initiate a business transaction. You can process a business transaction. You can close the business transaction at this class only. Okay, understand? I'll tell you about the types of classes center. Okay, suppose you go to bank. There are so many departments. Loan department you have went to. You submitted loan application. Loan department will initiate your transaction. That will be processed by loan department. It will reach out to so many other departments. Finally, it will come back to loan department. They will finally close it. Loan has been disbursed. Loan application is been closed for collecting EMIs further. Who opens? They will only close. In the processing, not only one department, many departments will involve. Yes or no? Clear, everyone? So here you go now. Okay. How many classes created? 3 classes. Technically, this is called as class group. You don't have to think about what is the technical definition. Just I am giving you a word that I am going to use sometime later in future. Or in short, you can also call it as work class. Why I am calling it a work class? Because work will be created there. Transaction means work only, right? Work will be initiated there. Work will be processed there. Work will get closed there. Okay. Or you may also call in your own terminology transaction class. In your own terminology, transaction class. But out of all these 3, mostly we will use work class terminology and class group terminology. These 2 terminology. If I say class group, if I say work class, meaning is same. When I say anytime work class, what should come to your mind is, oh, that is the class where transaction gets initiated, gets processed, and gets closed. Work class. Then what about these 2? I'll tell you. See, typically an organization means it's a topmost business entity. Every business entity will have some divisions under it. Will have some divisions. Under each division, some units will be there. What will be there? Some units will be there. I'll open a diagram to explain that. Just after telling this, I will wind up. Tomorrow we'll begin with classes. Whatever the session that we have discussed today about web page creation, that is our goal. Before we reach out to create those, where to create, you should know, right? Appropriate place or position you need to find out to create. Okay, that's what we are trying to learn. Where to create, inside what I should create. That's what class. After classes discussion is over and some OOPS concepts are over, then we will come to that practical. Okay, till then you just have an idea about that. Okay, so hard copy of documents. I'll go to diagrams. Organization structure. Just like that, I'm opening one diagram. Paint. We have only 7 more minutes to continue. Okay, organization is some insurance company. Under that you will have divisions: auto division, human division, property division. Under auto division, you have personal vehicles that are used by individuals for personal usage, commercial vehicles that are being used by business for business purpose, maybe courier vehicles, maybe shipping vehicles, all these things. And human, health insurance is there, life insurance is there, property, home is there, maybe some other company can be there. Okay, commercial property, personal property, commercial property also can be there, right? Like this, these are all called organization level is a topmost business entity. Organization is, in the real world I'm talking about, topmost business entity. Organization will have different divisions. Under division you have units. Unit is the place where actual business transactions or business processing is going to take place. Okay, simple example I'll tell you. So we have a car manufacturing company. Tesla is there. I will directly go to Tesla. I ask them, I want to buy a car. See, ultimate goal is they want to run their business. Running their business means what? Car sales should happen. I want to purchase a car. I directly went to Tesla manufacturer. Okay, I want to purchase a car. Are they going to sell us? No. Tesla is going to tell, we have some distributors, go there. I have then went to distributor. Let's say statewide distributor is there. I am asking the distributor now, I want to purchase a car. Is the distributor going to sell an individual? No, distributor will not be selling. Distributor is going to tell me, you just go to your city, you find a Tesla outlet. Okay, go there and ask them. Okay, I went to my city place where Tesla outlet is there. I went there and I asked them, I want to purchase a car. Are they going to sell me or not? Now the actual business processing is going to start at the unit level. And from there, the processing will take place. Finally, that's where it gets closed. Whatever they need, all will be supplied by distributors. Whatever distributors needs, supplied by organization. Same thing, movie production house is there. They will make the movie, they'll produce the movie, but they won't play it. They won't sell playing things and all. Okay, now they will transfer that movie boxes to distributors. Distributors also will not play the movies. They will transfer that boxes to cinema theaters. Okay, theaters will start selling. That's a unit level. Typically 3 levels will be there. Under units, subunits can be there. Under units, subunits. Subunit again may have subunit. It is possible. Depends on how large your business structure is. How many levels you take depends on your real world business structure. Okay, so whenever you are going to create any classes here, the classes are being created considering this organization structure. Typically, that is organization class, division class, and unit class, work class. Okay, this is implementation related, no? Or you say work class, or you say class group, or you say transaction class, anything. This is where transactions, unit level transactions gets processed. Today I told you about organization structure, just a basic idea and understanding what's organization, division, unit. And I told about the 3 classes that have been created. I just given a glance compared with organization structure, organization class, division class, unit class. This is called as application class. Why? Its name is matching with the application name. No, application name, this class name same, so I call it an application class. If you compare with organization structure, this is going to be division class. This, its name is same as organization law, so organization class. Even if you compare with organization structure, this is topmost organization. Work class is unit class where transactions will get processed. Understand clear? Apart from these 2, I told you about web page and its basic thing. It's a worldwide, just it's a kind of generic thing. Okay, that's not related to PEGA. Whatever I have explained about web pages concept, that is universal concept. That is universal concept. Okay, before you get into PEGA, you should know all that. Everyone clear so far? Every one of you?
Yeah.
You just have to go through all these things. You did not gain any technical insight into PEGA today. You have got just an overview of what is what. You just got the overview. What is what? You are not getting, you're not going to have a deep dive today itself. So we'll start analyzing each one in depth as we progress with our sessions. Clear? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow, May 30, 2024. And here you go now. This is tomorrow. We're going to continue with this classes. Okay, and types of classes. Okay, and 2 types are there. Okay, 2 types of classes: concrete class, abstract class. Okay, after this, OOPS concepts. Again, OOPS concepts. In this encapsulation concepts, you need to know. Though we are not going to work on any programming languages, this is built based on Java. You need to know concepts. Okay, encapsulations, inheritance in general. We don't have to know about multi-level, all that. Okay, just I'll give you an idea, and then you get into PEGA, and in PEGA, inheritance, comma, types of inheritance. It will take time. As I am typing all these things for tomorrow, may not be able to finish by tomorrow itself. It will take 2 days, 2 sessions it will take. But these are fundamentals. Whoever understands this fundamental structure, they can organize the things properly. They can organize the things properly. That's one difficult part when you are learning. Okay, because you should know which component to place at which appropriate location. That's most important. There are shortcuts also, I will tell you, no worries. So be perfect with fundamentals all the time. That's going to make you a master in the subject. Okay. Okay, for today you can wind up. We'll continue tomorrow. It is 8 o'clock. We have started sharp 7 o'clock. We're going to wind up sharp 8 o'clock. Okay, any questions? I can take it later, probably before the session. I am connecting to the class at least 10 to 15 minutes before. I request all of you, please be available on the meeting at least 5 minutes before 7 o'clock. Okay, thank you for joining everyone. You can wind up for today. Thank you.